All right, part 2 of the review for 3132. We're adding and subtracting polynomials. So if we're adding, we really just don't need the parentheses, right? Because you can imagine that there's a 1 in front of here. Oops, let me oops. Okay, imagine that there's a 1 in front of there, right? So when you distribute it, right, it's just going to be 4x to the third plus 2x plus 2x squared minus 8. And then you can imagine there's a 1 in front of here. So if you distribute the 1, you get plus 2x to the third plus x squared, and then plus 9. So essentially, when you're adding, you just get rid of the parentheses, right? We're just, all the signs are the same. We're just adding. Okay, then the only other thing we need to do is combine like terms. So I have 4x to the third here. Okay, my x squareds, let's see, I have 4x to the third and 2x to the third. That's going to give me a total of 6x to the third. My x squareds here, I can add those together. That's going to give me plus 3x squared. And then I have 2x. And then I have plus 8 and plus 9. I'm sorry, minus 8 and plus 9, which is going to give me plus 1. So I should end up with 6x to the third, 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. Yep, that looks good. Okay, the next one, we are subtracting the polynomial. So the first one's going to stay the same, right? You can think of it as a positive 1 out front. We distribute. So it's going to be y to the third plus 6x squared y squared minus 4xy minus 8. But then for the other one, we have to distribute this negative 1 to every single term, which means we need to switch the sign for every single term. So it's going to become minus 2y to the third plus 7x squared y squared plus 2xy plus y, and then minus 8. We need to switch the sign for all these because we're subtracting all of the terms. Okay, and then we just need to combine like terms. So let's see, I got x squared, y squared here and here. So that's a total of 13x squared, y squared. I have a y cubed here and here. So that's going to be minus y to the third, right? Positive 1 and negative 2 will give us minus 1. Okay. And then we have an xy, negative 4xy, and 2xy. So that's going to give me minus 2xy. Negative 4 plus 2 is going to be minus 2. Okay, and then I have a plus y right here. And then I have a minus 8 and a minus 8 will give me minus 16. Okay, and there's going to be my answer for subtraction. So I have a addition problem and a subtraction problem. All right, the next two are going to be multiplication problems. So we need to distribute, use our distributive property. So these, okay. So let's see, negative 2cd times 5c squared, that's going to be negative 10 c to the third, and then d, right? Remember, when you are multiplying, you have to add the exponents together. All right, we distribute the next one now. We get negative 2 and 5, negative 5, that's going to be positive 10. C times c is going to be c squared. And d times d is going to be d squared. On the first one here, right, negative 2 times 5 was negative 10. C times c squared was c to the third. And then d is just left over. Okay, and then the last one here, negative 2 times negative 1 is going to be plus 2. C, and then d times d squared is d to the third. I could write a good d. Oh, that's good. Good enough. D to the third. All right, the next one, we're multiplying 3 terms together, so you can't do all 3 at once, so we have to do 2 at a time. So I'm going to start with the first 2 here. So I'm going to FOIL, right? Distribute binomial distribution, first, outer, inner, last. So negative 2b times b is negative 2b squared. Negative 2b times negative 3 is plus 6b. 4 times b is plus 4b. And 4 times negative 3 is minus 12. And then we still have to multiply by 3b plus 4. Okay, before I do this next distribution, I'm going to combine like terms first. So I'm going to have negative 2b squared plus 10b minus 12. And then 3b plus 4. Okay, and then we have to distribute here as well. So we need to distribute each of these 3 terms with the 2 in the binomial, in the one next to it, in the binomial next to it. So 2b times 3b, that's going to be negative 6 b to the third. Okay, and then times 4 is going to be minus 8 b squared. The next one, 10b times 3b is going to be plus 30 b squared. 10b times 4 is going to be plus 40b. Minus negative 12 times 3b is going to be minus 36b. Negative 12 times 4 is going to be minus 48. Only thing left to do is combine like terms. So we have negative 6b to the third. Right, and then we have negative 8 and 30. That's going to be 22 b squared plus 4b minus 48, right? We get 4b because 40 minus 36, and then you're left with minus 48. Okay, so that's multiplication. So we had addition, subtraction, and now multiplication. Okay, we have some questions here with words, word problems, kind of, rectangles, prisms, where we have to add, subtract, and multiply these polynomials. So number 6 here says the length of a rectangle is represented by 4x plus 1 and the width by 2x squared minus 3. So if I draw a rectangle, I can say the length here is 4x plus 1 and the width is 2x squared minus 3. Okay, the area of a rectangle is length times width, L times W. So my area is simply going to be 4x plus 1 times 2x squared minus 3. That's my area formula. So if I distribute, I'm going to get 8x to the third minus 12x. 1 times 2x is plus 2x squared. 1 times negative 3 is minus 3. All right. We can't combine like terms at all. So all I need to do is put this in descending order of exponents. So I'm going to do 8x to the third plus 2x squared minus 12x and then minus 3. And there's your area formula. Okay. Good. All right, perimeter. So if we go down to the one below, perimeter is the length around the rectangle. So if this side's 4x plus 1, this one is also 4x plus 1, and this one is 2x squared minus 3. So the perimeter is just adding. So you'd have 4x plus 1 plus 4x plus 1 plus 2x squared minus 3 plus 2x squared minus 3, right? Those are your 4 sides of the rectangle. We just add them all together. So let's see, we're going to have 4x squared right? 2x squared and 2x squared is 4x squared. And then we're going to have 4x and 4x is going to give us 8x. And then we have 1 is 2 minus 3 gives us minus 4, right? That's 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 3 is -1. -1 minus 3 is -4. There we go. So we got perimeter of the rectangle. All right. Next question, number 7. A rectangular prism has dimensions. So if we have a rectangular prism, let's see if we can get a good diagram in here. There's my rectangular prism. Okay, it has the dimensions of x, x plus 3, right? And then our width here is 2, or we can do it 2x plus 5. Okay. So those are the dimensions of a rectangular prism. Okay, the volume is length times width times height. So basically, we're just going to multiply those three together. So we're going to do x times x plus 3 times 2x plus 5. And there you go. We just need to write that out, distribute, and we'll have our answer for volume in standard form. So I'm going to distribute the x. So I get x squared plus 3x, right? Times 2x plus 5. And now I just need to distribute this one out. And we get 2x to the third, right? Plus 5x squared. Plus 6x squared. And then plus 15x. So our volume here is going to be 2x to the third plus 11x squared plus 15x. And that'll be our polynomial representing the volume of this rectangular prism.